Will you tell Bruce Henderson that I've got a double-barrel shotgun? I'm Sam.
America, America, America. What? I'm trying to keep with my roots. I'm Jackie.
I've got a panga in my branga. I'm Justin, and this is Curse 3 Blood Sacrifice, also known as Panga, on Sneaker Bandits. Hello and welcome to Sneaker Bandits, a podcast about bad movies for bad movie lovers by bad movie lovers. I'm your host, Justin. With me are always Sam and Jackie. This week on the show, currently streaming on Amazon Prime, it's the American title Curse 3 Blood Curse, or Blood Sacrifice. Curse 3 Blood Curse, The Curse of Blood. That would be a good title. Also known as Panga in other regions, specifically I think Canada and the UK.
I think it was made as Panga.
Panga! And then stolen by the Curse franchise. We got you.
Yeah.
We got Panga!
We got this movie Panga. Who wants to buy it? Us. We're going to call it this. I don't care. You give me the money, you get the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it works.
Starring Christopher Lee and basically a bunch of nobody else's unless Sam's got a deep dive on some people. I do want to remind everybody that we did not do an episode on Curse 2 The Bite, which is one of my favorites out of this franchise. Jackie and I did watch it, and we gave it a do. Jackie, do you remember Curse 2 The Bite?
No.
Where are they? Go ahead, Sam. You're dying.
Is it related? Are any of them related to the Curse movie with Will Wheaton?
Nope.
Okay.
They're just movies that have curses in them. And I'm not sure about 4. But Curse 2, The Bite, was where there's 2 big things I remember about it. They're driving down a highway in a red Jeep Cherokee, and snakes attack. Like, somebody just started chucking rubber snakes at them, and there's rubber snakes like fly, like they're mowing down rubber snakes like it's Mormon cricket season in Idaho. I mean, there's just snakes all over the road. That was pretty funny. And then he gets bit. The dude, the love interest dude, or the couple guy, and he gets snake arm. He gets evil snake arm. It's not that he...
Oh, I do remember that.
It's not that he turns into a snake man, like he just has evil snake arm. And it's hilarious. So...
That does sound funny.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good one. It's one of my faves.
Yeah, I do remember that, and I do remember having a really good time with the Curse 2.
Yeah, I'd probably circle back to Curse 2, but it's not streaming. But Curse 3 is, and we hadn't seen it, and I don't regret pulling the trigger on this. But Sam, go ahead and tell us everything you know about it.
Oh, before Sam starts, I would like to admit right now that I have given up on the cast list.
Good.
Because, you know,
well,
no, but I held to it. I did not do the cast list this week.
Well, this week you just have a bunch of names that you don't know and some not pictures.
Yeah, right.
Because there's 3 people that are in this that you might know. I guess Justin only knows Christopher Lee. I am a big fan of Jenna Lee Harrison, the principal actress in this, because for whatever, like, one of the only things I got on TV when I was like 5 was Three's Company.
Okay.
We only had reception for like one channel, and she's the one that takes over for Suzanne Summers. She's Cindy Snow, whatever Snow's. I actually like her better than Suzanne Summers, and for whatever reason, whatever episodes I've seen of Three's Company were mostly the 2 seasons that she was in.
Okay. So
I was like, oh wow, yay, Cindy. And she's also in the movie Tank with James Garner, which was one of my favorite movies in my very early youth. And she gets a wet t-shirt in that one, I think, and it was an early on like, oh, that is the body of a woman. So I'm a big fan of her. She got him out in this one, and I was surprised. Beyond Tank and Three's Company, she also did several seasons of Dallas as Jamie Ewing, which I've never seen 1 second of Dallas.
Okay.
Other than that, it's just an episode of this, an episode of that, a TV movie, and then towards the end of it, it looks like she did like a run of bad action movies that are so bad that they don't even have their own links. You can like find them on IMDb, but that's it.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what she did before she was an actress?
School teacher.
Rams
Waitress at
cheerleader.
Denny's.
She was a Rams cheerleader,
Okay.
and that's why she got to be the hot lady in the hot lady stuff.
Good for her. The St. Louis Rams or the L.A. Rams?
The L.A. Rams.
Okay.
The St. Louis was...
Yeah, I guess
Phoenix Cardinals that are the Arizona Cardinals might have been the St. Louis Cardinals at that point.
Yeah, right.
It was like 1980 or 79 when she was a cheerleader for
guess
the
my
Rams.
timing's
so.
a little bit off there, but okay.
Did you recognize Henry Selle?
No.
He's the foreman.
Right, Mlech.
He was in those David Winters movies that we liked so much.
Oh, okay. Good.
He's also Shaka in Shaka Zulu, if you ever saw that one.
All right. Well,
It's a big deal.
It's a big role for him.
Yeah, he died tragically young at the age of 58 from a chest infection in the hospital.
Yuck.
And I guess he was getting really fussy towards the end of it. And I'm like, probably because he's dying of something he shouldn't be dying
on account of the
in
chest
a
infection.
hospital.
Yeah, like when William Hurt gets or John Hurt gets the thing squirt out of his belly in Alien. Look, he got pretty fussy. You know, you're not supposed to have goop, living things inside of your torso that are not supposed to be there. You're allowed to get a little fussy.
Yeah. Have we done Christopher Lee yet?
On the podcast, wasn't he in Halloween 2? My Sister's a Werewolf? Wasn't that him?
I feel like I've done we'll just do it again because we don't remember and it's been so long. Jackie, do you know what Christopher Lee did before he was an actor?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to guess
L.A.
waiter at Denny's.
What's that?
Waiter at Denny's.
Rams cheerleader.
They don't have. He's English.
Oh, okay. So let me okay. Bus driver of those double-decker buses.
Well, he was of age for military service right when World War II broke out. So he's basically effectively in every theater of World War II, starting with he started out in the Mountaineers, and he said if they would have sent his division to the front, he would have not survived because he could shoot fine, but he was terrible at skiing, and they weren't picking up the skiing very much. So he was reserve force for the Finnish fighting the Russians in the Winters War, and then was recalled once the real fighting started in France to be part of the British Army. And after a time of that, realizes that his dad dies, and he's like, well, I get to kind of choose what I do now. So he decides Royal Air Force. So right before he gets his wings, the optometrist is like, yeah, you've got vertigo or something, you're never going to fly. So he applies for intelligence because he can speak language, like a couple languages. By the end of the war, he can speak like 5 fucking languages.
Wow.
So he does RAF intelligence, and the entire North African campaign, all through Italy. He's detached with the Gurkhas in the army for a while. He's fighting on foot. He's fighting with his brain. He's dropping bombs. He's World War II guy.
I got a question. Was
Sure.
one of the languages he could speak, was it by chance Romanian?
It wasn't. He could. I don't know. I know that he can speak English, German, French, Italian.
Okay. I think somebody out there in podcast land was like, Sam just walked right past that. Because the only Romanian he would
I know.
to know
he was Dracula fucking
blah.
9 times,
Blah.
7 times for Hammer.
Blah.
That's the thing that I feel like our listeners know, the one that he's Dracula.
Yeah, it's funny because
A lot.
Transylvania's
Like
in Romania.
all of the Draculas.
Transylvania's in Romania. It's fun. It's a fun joke, Sam. This is a comedy podcast, not a smart guy podcast. Try to let me have some fun here, you Debbie Downer.
Because he was such a
he just
good.
goes.
Yeah, because you're making blah blah Dracula, woo.
Because it's awesome. Okay, I'll shut up.
You weren't all over him last week when we were doing the vampire movie.
No, I meant Christopher Lee's awesome as Dracula.
Okay, there we go. There was a job that he did for a brief time in between World War II.
Rams cheerleader.
Being an actor and singer. People forget that he was a singer.
Double-decker bus driver.
Yeah.
He hunted down fucking Nazis.
Okay, it's
Oh, holy shit.
Did he do it
Yep,
from a double-decker bus?
No, he
Okay,
did
damn
it from like cloak and daggery shit.
Man, he's a badass.
Oh, yeah, he's super
Yeah.
badass. He's a goddamn American hero.
And he was British, but, you know.
That doesn't...
So,
we shouldn't fault him for that.
It's like his mom's cousin was an opera singer or something like that in Italy. And it's fun, kind of... It's probably not fun for them, but Italy wasn't like Germany when Mussolini took over. It wasn't like, hey, we're all in. Italy was like, I'm pretty sure that guy's a dick. And so there was a large Italian resistance, and so his, like, cousin is a opera singer, or at least a classical style singer. He's like one of the Italian resistance guys, and they bump into each other. I think it was him that was like, you should be an actor. You'll be good at it. Runs in our blood, dude. Go for it. But I found that like what a fun fact that these singing guys were kicking all the ass. But yeah, and then the last thing that's even interesting in this movie is that it was released almost simultaneously with Curse 4, which is actually a Charles Band movie called Catacombs. And so they just like hit the shelves like at the same time. Like the Curse 2 was probably so much fun that they're like, we got 2 spaces on the video shelf. Let's go for it.
Interesting.
Go buy 2 movies. One of them's called Panga, the other one's called Catacombs. Now they're Curse 3 and 4.
Yeah, well, I might have to find Curse 4 because now I'm curious to see if there is a curse in it. Catacombs doesn't scream curse. Maybe like Curse of the Mummy? I don't know.
It looks a lot more fun, and there's a lot more fun people in it.
Okay, all right. I'll check it out. Jackie, you like grizzled old men. Is Christopher Lee sexy?
No.
Okay. Just checking.
I mean, he's handsome, but he's not for me.
Okay. All right. You like more of the truck driver-y look rather than the sophisticated tea drinker.
I like Sam Elliott,
Okay.
in Roadhouse.
Christopher Cross.
Chris Christopherson.
Yeah. Sailing. Yeah, that guy's hot. All right, let's get into this. Question 1, Sam, why is it called Panga? What's Panga?
That knife that it's using is called a Panga.
The choppy machete knife?
Yeah, it's a machete knife. It's the African equivalent to a machete is called a Panga.
A Panga.
It's a little bit sturdier.
Okay.
It would be much better for whacking skulls because it's a sturdier blade than a machete, but it really provides the same function. It's for whacking brush, and this they're using it to
harvest sugar cane. Well, they kind of would have had some things not happen. Right. Okay. All right. That's good.
And
good answer.
the nephew or whoever that was on the beach said that there was a mystical monster named the Panga.
Was it
when
Bruce
he scared
Henderson?
Somebody.
Yeah, Bruce Henderson. We'll get to Bruce Henderson.
I'm fucking steamed that Bruce Henderson wasn't in this movie. By the third time I hear Bruce Henderson's name, and then it just gets tossed back and forth. I'm like, why the fuck isn't Bruce Henderson in this
When's he
movie?
going to show up? Okay, so this is all set in Africa, in East Africa in 1950, which is an interesting, because it could have been set in modern times. I don't know why it wasn't, but anyways, whatever. There's a tribe's been out in the jungle, or out in the sugarcane fields, and he's walking around, he's getting stalked, and then all of a sudden you see a Panga come up, and he gets the chop. So that's how this whole shenanigans starts. And the guy comes in, the witch doctor, who is our primary antagonist throughout the movie, we find out, is, yeah, right,
Is he?
Question mark.
Yeah.
He's like, your son's dead, it's time to mourn him. And so the next day, the tribe comes together, and they start up performing. The mother starts the ritual of mourning or whatever that this tribe conducts when one of their people has been detonated.
Yeah. I also wrote
what was
down
the
that
point?
he looks like a rooster.
The son? Or the witch doctor?
No, the witch doctor that's dressed like a rooster.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, he kind of does.
He's feathery.
But I didn't get this whole scene between showing the grieving mother and going to the sugarcane owner's house, right? And like showing she's making coffee. Oh, the maid's making coffee over here. Like, what the hell was that?
It was long and fucking boring.
Yeah, I think it was just
Yeah.
they had footage, Jackie.
Did you guys notice that there was like 4 stock shot pans back to back on the front end of this?
Yeah.
That were just like, use the whole pan. Later, like right after the coffee bit, we get to see a lady walk all the way from her kitchen to Christopher Lee's kitchen to tell him to do something. Like, I didn't need to go with her on this quest.
So, on the other side, as we've mentioned, the sugarcane farmer, it's him and his wife. She's preggers, and they're, somewhat youngish, and they've got the help, and they're doing fairly well by being colonists, British colonialism.
They are sort of leftover, like he's left over from the empire, basically. Like they have decided to keep the land, but that's another thing. It's like, this is 1950, so they're just landowners in whatever African country this is now. They're no longer attached to any sort of British. That's where I'm like wondering when shit's going down. I'm like, well, who do they call exactly? Because the constable had to go back to England, right? Like, this is more frontier-y than the Wild West, really.
Yeah, not a safe place. Anyways, so they're going about their business, and they've got a man named Malech, as we mentioned before. He is a former tribesman, or just a man who knows the language. He's from the area.
His dad was the foreman before him, and his dad was the foreman before that. Okay. So it's like a generational thing that's been passed down.
All right.
Yeah, they grew up together. Probably had a really weird thing where they were super best friends until they were introduced to the horrendous caste system that was happening.
Like, hey, bud, school was great, but now it's time for me to go to college in Eton and meet pretty white ladies and increase my wealth further while you get to then work for me at barely livable wages.
It's probably much worse than that, where he's like 8 and he's like, Malech is my best friend. We're going to be best friends forever. And his dad's like, Malech is less human than you are.
Yeah, probably. What, he is? No way!
How exactly?
How much? How much less human? Would you say 4/5? No, it's not lower than that. 3/5? I mean, I'd like to go lower, but I'll compromise. Anybody? Little history. Okay, so they have visitors coming in from America. I'm still confused on who these people are, but they seem to be related to Elizabeth, the wife, somehow.
Her sister, Cindy.
All right.
Which is fun because she was Cindy in Three's Company.
Okay.
And then the nephew of the landowner guy, who's supposed to be learning the business.
So, his nephew is banging his sister-in-law?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
No.
Not in 1950.
Not when you're in the middle of nowhere and there's one other girl. You're like, mine.
Yeah, right. Hey, we're not blood related. So, this is all juxtaposed against the ritual still continuing. And so they go and pick up the Cindy and the nephew guy. And they're driving in the truck like they're coming back to the farm. But somebody decides to stop by this African tribal village and witness what they're up to today, which is
why did they go there?
Why did they go there?
Because Fletch was driving and he was like, look, I got to pick up some stuff from my hut.
He doesn't live there. He's not one of the tribes, Jackie.
No, he lives in the help house off to the side.
Yeah, he has no...
When shit goes down later, he's like right there because he's like, yeah, I live right there.
There's no...
With that lady that you had to walk with one time.
There's no, hey, we have to stop by the tribesmen because they're, we need to recruit some more workers for the fields to exploit the local community. None of that is said. They just pull up while a fucking ritual's going on, and they're about to sacrifice a goat. And of course, the white people are like, "Oh no, save the goat!" I would do the same. And
really,
yeah,
I wouldn't.
Yeah. No,
I don't.
They're gonna eat it.
Well, yeah.
Like, hey, whatever.
But I like goats.
Here's your sacrifice. You don't want it? Okay, we'll eat it.
Yeah, that's just who I am, man. I can't witness.
You want to get cursed?
Yeah, I would take one for the goat.
You think your luck could get worse? Is what you're telling me?
I'm a gambling man, Sam. I'll gamble on that risk, on that curse.
Nice.
Yeah. So they're like, stop the murder of this goat. And the tribe are like, what are you doing here? And the witch doctor is like, Bunga Bunga, sorry. That's what they're fucking doing in this movie. And
Wamupe.
Yeah.
I wrote it down.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
And
throws a weird doll at her, at her feet.
Or something. I couldn't tell what it looked like a glob of just stuff. But I guess she's cursed. He cursed her. And then they take the fucking goat. Like, the tribe is like, oh, well, white people, you know.
Have taken our goat.
You know how it is, you know.
And what's to stop them from just getting another goat out of the thing?
Right, exactly. There's like a shitload of goats.
Mm-hmm.
Go get another one.
You can't just take somebody's goat.
You can't just take somebody's goat. Like, what are you going to do with that goat? Hey, that's not your goat. It's not. I mean, look, I'm against goat sacrifice. Big goat right activist type guy. But also, I believe in the chain of property ownership. And that is not your fucking goat. You stole that goat.
Yeah.
You didn't give him, like, some bananas in exchange, or, like, a pallet of fish, or offer to build homes, or medicine. You just stole their fucking goat.
Just stole their fucking goat.
Bastards. No wonder.
And it was
Also,
a fine-looking goat, too.
Yeah, it's a nice
feel
goat.
minorly offended by this set, too, because their fences are just shitty. It's just like sticks laying on their sides.
Right.
Like a pile of sticks counts as an African fence. And I'm like, no, I've seen plenty of pictures of these villages, and they're much better at building fences than that, you fucking dicks.
So they get back to the house, and she's like, so what did that guy say to you when he was screaming at me? And my only answer was, America! Malech
That was weird.
Malech looks at her and is like, yeah, I didn't get that. Why did you just scream America? That's not going to do anything. They don't even know anything about America. And if they did, they wouldn't like it at all.
She says a number of things that are like, what?
Yeah.
That's not what you say there.
Right.
That's the first time it happens.
So he's like, yeah, he said you had a baby, and she or something like that. And she's like, oh, wow, he must be, I didn't realize I was showing. He's like, no, you don't get it. He said you had a baby. Post tense.
Oh.
Past tense. It's an ex-baby.
So whether it be hypochondria or not, she goes and she does the America cheese grating chant. Does anyone know what she's grating?
Yeah, so she goes
if
and
it's cheese.
I'm assuming it's cheese.
I had no idea, because it's kind of like a zester almost.
Yeah,
like she's doing lemon or ginger, and she's like, America, 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 America. And then, sorry, I'm looking at that hot lady behind you. But then her husband comes in and he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm singing to feel closer to my roots. And I'm like, that's not singing. That's just chanting and cutting up ginger.
My favorite.
Grating something.
Look, I let's get this out there. I'm a pretty big patriotic guy. I sing all of the songs about America. This land is your land. This land is my land. America the Beautiful. National anthem is a total banger, right? I've never heard the song America, whose lyrics are America.
It's not
a good one.
She's leaving the A off every time.
America.
She's almost like in America. She's almost in America 3000 at this point with her level of English and her prowess using the English language.
Her singing is Nagy Plastic.
It is Nagy Hot Plastic. And I think that, like, instead of the curse having taken rapid effect, I think what she's done here is that she's gone into a panic mode and she's overdone some grating or zesting of ginger and other roots, which is it takes a toll on your core. So if you're pregnant, you shouldn't be doing this. So she's just overdoing it, and now she doesn't feel very good.
Oh, I know what she's doing. You know, in like movies where, you know, somebody's possessed by the demon, you go in there and you say the Lord's Prayer, and that provides a shield against the demons from getting you. You know, if you do that, that's how that works, right? She's doing this because this is a shield, a verbal shield against black people by saying America over again, because that's, you know, what America does. Jack, I don't know if you knew the history of America, but we stole a bunch of Africans and brought them over here to be our slaves. So that's, you know, and some of that was still happening in 1950. Slavery wasn't outlawed in Georgia, like ratified, until 1976. Yuck. Like they couldn't get that done. The legislative branch
It was
body
still a federal thing. They were just being
get that done.
Statehood defiant kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I don't think they could actually exercise it, but they were like, they didn't bother to like formalize it.
Clear the law books. It's kind of a big one. Kind of a big one that, you know, like the worst thing ever. So
yeah,
I don't know. So I think that's what she's doing, Jackie. She's just saying the Lord's prayer for the evils that are coming her way, because she's a...
They're Native Americans that got genocided could kind of argue worst thing ever on that one.
Right, but don't forget...
I don't know. I think we were the worst thing ever, but...
We always forget about the Native Americans thing, Sam. That's like the most American thing you can do is forget about the travesties.
And then litter on the fucking highway like a cocksucker.
Out of your goddamn... diesel pickup truck, your Taco Bell wrappers, whap, right in that Native American man's face, who wasn't actually a Native American. He was an Italian guy, which makes it even worse.
Even worse.
God damn it. Okay, so, so she's like, oh, speaking of Taco Bell, oh, guys, my stomach hurts. And you think that she's about to, like, seriously have a miscarriage. And she goes and lays down in bed. Her husband calls Doc over, Doc Dooku, and Christopher Lee pulls up, like, after taking a sweet-ass time. Like, there's a medical emergency going on, and he stops off to the side of the road and is like, look at those clouds. Like, Doc!
It's not windy out here, and the birds aren't singing.
Sees curse clouds.
Curse clouds, yeah. His curse sense is tingling.
He muttered something that I couldn't understand, but it sounded like, oh, cursey looking clouds. I'll stop in the middle of the fucking road. Good thing there's not a lot of cars here.
During a medical emergency, a woman probably is dying. This is 1950. Let's not exactly church up the infant and maternal mortality rate here. They're dropping like flies. Being pregnant is a huge risk in 1950. Somehow we're all still alive, but anyways. So he finally gets there, and he, like, gives her brown medicine or something. He cuts away after he pulls out his stethoscope. But later he's...
Yeah, we don't find out what he does until much later because it's somehow plot relevant.
Mm-hmm.
But he does some weird shit.
And then he tells her that she has the Scottish flu.
Yeah. There's no mention of the baby being dead or miscarriage or bloody... pants, nothing. She's fine now.
Well, she gets some opium and then she does feel fine.
Yeah,
she totally feels. She got the symptoms are gone. Mm-hmm. Her body will probably fix the rest of it. So she's like, "Oh, okay, cool, opium. I'll have some tea now."
Yeah, oh tea. The relatives, meanwhile, Cindy and Bert, I don't know, they're down at the beach because I guess they also have fucking beach access. Like.
Well, they were dropped off after the whole goat incident. Good thing that you guys stole this fucking goat. Thanks a lot. I guess we'll just tie it to the back somewhere and hope it doesn't jump out while we're trying to drive down the road. You guys enjoy your time at the beach.
I'll take care of the goat. Guess it's my problem now. Fucking assholes. I hate it when you come into town, Cindy. Every goddamn time. All you talk about how mother loves you the most. You're the best, Cindy. You're the prettiest, and you got the nicest hair and all the best clothing. And mother just fucking loves you. That's all you fucking talk. And now you're making me take care of a fucking goat, just like you made me take care of that fucking other. I don't know. I was gonna try to make a dead baby joke, but I probably shouldn't. Probably shouldn't. But I guess I made it anyway, so whatever. All right. So Doc, he stays for tea, and he spots a witch doctor stick that they've got that apparently has been handed down by his dad's that he stole from the people. That
He's got a great collection of pilfered and stolen items.
Yeah, so that checks out.
And this stick is pretty awesome.
Okay.
It's very beautiful.
Hey, I got a joke before I forget. Why are the pyramids located in Egypt? Because the British Museum couldn't steal them.
Too big.
Huh? That's another history joke. It's 2 in 1 episode. Are they landed? Hello? Anybody? like a little historical comedy? Mel Brooks does. He's listening right now, laughing his ass off. Yeah, okay, fine. I'll move on. Anyway, so the deal with this stick is a witch doctor goes woo, and waves it around, and it changes the weather and calls a monster from the sea, I guess. Because it's got
something like that.
The trees bend over, the people go, monster comes.
It's the panga from the sea.
Right.
The panga is just a fucking knife.
Which is a knife. Anyways.
The sea monster is a sea monster.
Yeah. So
he's just articulate enough to use one.
Sure as shit, storm's coming. Storm's brewing. Oh, God. It's going to be an electrical storm. Very little rain. We should go get Cindy and Steve from the beach.
Robert?
Robert doesn't sound
Robert
right.
is a douche.
Yeah, Robert is a douche. Jackie?
Yeah.
First, he dresses up as a sea monster with a bunch of seaweed and scares the shit out of Cindy. Then he's like, come on, let's go swimming. And then it's butthole cold. And she's like, that was a terrible idea, Robert. And then he's like, let's get in the hut and have sex. And then she's like, don't you hear that? There's obviously somebody walking around out there. And he's like, it's just the sea, buttfucker.
He does much worse than that, Jackie. There's like 12 cutaways of all this other stuff happening. Like who's the husband? What is his name?
Jeff.
We find out that Jeff is a real son of a bitch when he goes to check on the workers. Like, there's a storm coming. They're all worried about it. They're not fucking working. You're a shitty boss. And tomorrow you're going to do twice as much. Otherwise, I guess I don't know what the consequences are here.
Burn your homes to the ground.
Yeah. So it takes Robert like 30 minutes to get to second base. And then when he finally gets to humping her, he won't he's like, no, don't worry about that. I'm almost done.
Yeah.
There's a plane crashing outside. No, it's not. It's just the sea.
The sea.
I'm almost there. Shut up, bitch.
Brandy, you're a fine girl. So the husband, he sees the goat, Jeff, and he's like, oh, God damn it. You took the fucking goat. Shit. Doc's like, I'm getting out of here. I see what's about to shake down. You got cursed. And then, Jeff comes back and he's like, oh, fuck. There's some rope or some hair that was left here.
It was rope. And
okay.
She's like, what does that mean? And he kind of stares at her because it means that they took their fucking goat back, dumbass. It's their fucking goat.
Or
you tied it to a tree in our front yard because you're like, oh, fuck. I have no place for this stolen goat.
I'm not a goatsman. I'm not goat ready. The other thing I know about goats is they will eat anything. So there's a chance that the goat just chewed through his own fucking rope and is out wandering around being a goat.
Yeah, keeping a goat on a rope for a long time isn't going to happen. Getting a goat to do what it doesn't want to do is not really
They are willful animals.
They are willful. You can train them to be very nice, but expect them to do whatever the fuck they want.
Man, I love goats. I think they're just so fucking funny. Because, like...
They're funny.
My sister had this goat, and, like, it'd get pissed, you know, because goats sometimes get pissed. And, you know, especially when, like, dogs are around, the dogs are, like, sniffing at it and being like, hey, let's play. And then the goat gets mad, and it'll, like, buck, you know, kick its back legs out. But this particular goat had IBS or something, so every time it would kick at the dog, it would fart. It's just hilarious. I mean, they are funny animals. You shouldn't have blood sacrifices with goats. Pick something like a bird. Birds are fucking stupid. Like get a fucking robin, man. They shit all over everything. Okay, Let's switch our fucking sacrifices to birds. Like slingshot. Boom. There, done. Okay, blood sacrifice is over. I took that bird that was shitting on our cars. We don't have cars. We're in Africa. Our goat carts.
Yeah, but then there's no taco bar afterwards.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because there's like 18 or 20 people you got to feed. A goat will do the job.
Yeah. Goat tacos.
I've had goat tacos.
Oh, yeah?
They're pretty fucking good.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, the workers are on strike over the fucking impending doom. And Jeff's like, hey, get these guys to work tomorrow. And Mlech is like, yes, I will do this. Good call. And I don't know why he's German now, or Russian. And Jeff is like, oh, and by the way, I want to see you up the house later because I'm going to talk about how badly you suck compared to your father. Right now, your father would have got these fuckers to work 16 hours with no breaks, no food, no water, rain, sunshine, hail, blood sacrifice curse, whatever. And you're not getting it done for me, Mlech, my best friend. That man is an asshole.
Yeah, he's like, this is an insult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I said it to be insulting to you because you're not doing a good job. Mlech. I am the only thing that is standing between your family getting murdered by tribes people. Do a better job then. Mlech, do more. God damn it.
So that's what, and Robert's here to learn about the sugarcane business. So he's basically just here to learn how to be a white cocksucker.
Yeah, right.
Just the biggest pile of human shit. Taking notes, Robert? No, I'm not at second base yet.
All right, so the doc, he goes to the tribe, and he brings the walking or the witch doctor stick, and he gives it to the witch doctor, and they go in the hut and have some sort of conversation, and they come out later, and he's leaving, and the witch doctor's like, hey, wait, you forgot your witch doctor stick, and gives it back to him. Like, what happened in there?
Dude, I tried, they were going to forget about that. I was trying to get some of your people's property back, but whatever. Okay.
Okay. It's technically your walking, or not your walking stick, I don't know what I call it. It looks like a walking stick. It's your witch doctor stick. You don't want it? Booga booga. So Elizabeth, she goes to this old lady's house. It's her friend's house for cookies. And the old lady, I don't know her name, but she's got her granddaughter lives there or is staying there for the weekend or whatever the hell. Chloe.
She's babysitting. She's babysitting while the parents are freelancing. And her husband is dead. He's been dead for 15 years.
Okay.
She still lives there at the house. And chocolate chip cookies are an American delicacy.
Mm-hmm.
She made them with oatmeal, you can tell.
Yeah, they look like
those look like
they were gross
shitty.
looking.
No, those are terrible cookies. She feeds one to the fucking dog, man. So that
dog doesn't even eat the whole
Yeah,
cookie. It's like,
oatmeal. Bleh.
Dog takes a bite out of it and spits it back out on the ground like, ew, gross.
Feel like this woman has the domestic capabilities of Barbie, say.
The easy bake.
If it doesn't come in plastic, she not eating.
Meanwhile, Jeff is driving around like a fucking maniac.
Yeah.
sliding his fucking pickup down these fucking streets. He's got to be going like 45. There's guys with carts with chickens. This is a chicken cart path, you asshole. Driving down here like it's fucking LA.
It's just lucky there's not that many cars.
Right?
Otherwise, these people would have all died in collisions by now.
Right.
Christopher Lee drives like an asshole, and he's the least assholish driver in the movie. We never get to see Mlech drive, tragically.
Yes, we do.
Oh.
Yeah, he drives up
Oh,
to
yeah,
the
he
village.
does drive.
He
But he
drives
did the
us to the
same thing.
village.
He just, like, drives up to the village and just, like, slams on the brakes.
Yeah, like,
and
dude,
skids to a stop. Like, don't do that.
this isn't a road, Mlech. This is where our houses are. We live. You drove it into my yard. Get this fucking truck out of here. Why are
Came
you
in
here?
hot and skid to a stop.
Thanks.
We did get to see him drive like an asshole.
Well, the Beachers, they're down there humping, and something is coming. This is the first time we get the clue that there is a monster. Let's talk about the monster other than its visuals.
We don't know if it's a monster or not. We are meant to think that this is a human because we only see the panga.
Yeah, it's got a panga, and but it's got some sound effects that accompany it.
It's got a wheeze so that we can still be questioning whether it's a monster or whether it's a guy with a wheeze.
It's got COPD. Really stiff joints.
Yeah, they're making us connect the dots that it's actually Christopher Lee already.
They're trying to. They're trying to.
Yeah.
Because, one thing we've known about Christopher Lee in this whole movie is that he's a big wheezer. That never happened. Like, no
it did.
point.
They talked about his asthma.
breathing.
Really?
Everybody's breathing heavy in this movie.
Everybody was breathing heavy in this movie. So it could be anybody. I said it sounded like Montgomery Burns. So yeah, it's got the panga, and it goes up to the tent while they're banging and chops it up, and revealed that it chopped them up too.
So here's my question before we move on. Did he finish?
Ooh.
Just as he's getting sliced in the back.
I don't think so. I think he kind of, if I'm going to guess, I think he actually just got his wiener kind of wedged in between her butt cheek and one of her legs. And he thought he was having sex and it didn't feel good, but he was just like, this is amazing. Ouch. Sand, and he's so crappy getting it a second that I just can't imagine he was doing it right.
I hate sand. It gets everywhere. Oh boy.
I was genuinely surprised that because of the way that Cindy took her top off, whoever the actress is, it's like, oh, they're really going to feign some boobs here and piss me off. But then they're just like, no, here's some boobs. And you're like, why?
Yeah, why?
This movie... And they did it in a way that you could edit out the nudity very quickly because there's only 3 shots.
Yeah.
But the only person that would be scared by this is under the age of 12.
Very much so.
And those boobs make that impossible for them.
Yeah, this is a very not frightening movie in no possible way. Could anybody be scared by anything that is happening on screen unless the terror is implied that it's going to be just the idea of terror is going to end up in a child's room later. That's it. The pacing is slow. Like, the monster sounds like a fucking old man. That's not scary. Benkei!
The stings are unstingy. They're not sharp.
Yeah.
The aftermath is gory. Yeah, the aftermath is too gory for... This would have to get heavily edited for 12-year-olds. It's just not a scary movie.
Very good. All right. So, I was going to make another panga joke before I move on. Panga, more like bang ya, because that's what I'm doing. It's too late. It's gone.
It's too late. I thought they did a good job with the dead bodies.
Yeah, they looked okay.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Okay. Meanwhile, little Chloe. I already did she's killed her dog joke by feeding it chocolate. Jeff finally gets to the beach. He finds the bloody tent and the bodies. He pukes, and then he runs away, and he's vaguely being hunted. It's so unclear whether he's being hunted or not, or just like running away from dead bodies. But eventually he hears, "Hoo!" and he's like, Jesus Christ. Fucking geriatric park. Hey, that's a joke
Is it
from
colitis.
Yeah.
Is that the one where your poops hurt bad? So we get chased by a monster with asthma and colitis.
My glaucoma. Oh! And so he leaves a decoy, and that allows him to get away because the panga chops his shirt because it's also got bad eyesight.
No, he does. He sets a trap. He even says, oh, you'll never get me. And I'm like, so you're the one white guy in Africa that doesn't walk around with a gun.
Yeah, no shit, huh?
Interesting choice. He takes off his shirt and ties the flashlight to some sugar cane,
right?
As if it's him shining the light back, and the panga wielder, whatever it may be at this point, attacks that rather than him, and he's made it back to his truck only for it not to start for no fucking reason at all.
Hey, I got something. Are we idiots? Sure. I mean, is this the most American movie of all time? Because, forgive me if I'm wrong, but didn't we steal the people of Africa and ship them to the Bahamas to do slave labor where they grew sugar cane? I thought sugar cane came from the Caribbean, not Africa. You can grow
it wherever they grow it in Hawaii, wherever their conditions are right.
I've been to Hawaii. I don't remember
They also grow it in Australia.
They can't grow shit in Australia. That doesn't make any kind of sense.
There's some very tropical regions of Australia, yes. The middle of it is a big red pile of dirt.
Yeah.
With dangerous snakes and spiders that will kill you and eat your face.
It's just, okay.
Maybe some guy with a hat that can do fine out there.
Why didn't they set this movie in, like, fucking the Caribbean, though, and have it be voodoo? It's a voodoo curse. I don't know. I don't understand the panga. Anyways, so he gets to his truck, and eventually he gets home, but there's goop on the back of the truck. Like, we find out that
I couldn't tell if it was
goop.
Blood or not.
I just said
so
something.
I was, like, confused.
Yeah.
I thought it looked like seaweed.
It's later to be revealed as sea goop. It's
sea creature goop.
Goop from the sea it's sea goop.
Slime. That's how she says it.
Yeah,
later.
right. Yeah. But it's in the house. It hitched a ride in the back of the truck, I guess. You know, unseatbelted, unsafe monster. And Elizabeth.
Robert and Cindy were riding back there before.
Yeah. Well.
Playing grab ass. While their asses get slammed repeatedly to the metal of the bed of that truck.
It's my turn now,
Cindy. It's driving like a fucking asshole, and they're hitting every goddamn bump.
Okay, now you grab my ass. Oh. Okay, now I'm gonna grab yours. Ooh. Okay. Oh, now do me again. Whoa. Grab ass. It's a dumb game. Who wins?
Everybody.
Okay, Elizabeth, she just got done taking a bath. And she's wandering around the house because she heard, like, she just starts wandering around the house. We know the monster's in there because we can hear it going, ooh, but she doesn't ever hear, she's nowhere near where we hear the ooh.
They're just keeping us awake because she's really only taking a bath for one reason.
Yeah, right.
So we can see her boobs. Yep. And I was like, I am really surprised by this. I did not know this was a thing. I was like, oh my gosh, I've actually seen her boobs. Oh.
And he went to the big board, Jackie, and checked it off the checklist.
I got a question here. Sam, is she on your hot tub?
No, she's still pretty
list?
fucking hot.
Okay.
According to this picture here, anyway. But no, I mean, like, she was probably, because I really liked the movie Tank, and so there was, like, genuine things that I had never felt before stirred inside me when she turned around wearing a tank top, and I was like, hi.
Hojawachai. That's
Sam. That's what 6-year-old me does.
Sammy's.
I'm probably like more like 4 or 5. I mean, I'm probably too young to be like, be like, I had aspirations of a motorboating son of a bitch at a very young age.
Okay. Well, she's wandering around the house. She does have her clothes back on. And she ends up in the fridge. Like, it's like a fridge pantry. I'm assuming this was a thing for rich people before they actually had fridges.
Well, they have to feed a lot of hands.
Yeah.
So,
but
they have a walk-in fridge.
Yeah, walk-in fridge. But there's also, like, stuff that doesn't need to be refrigerated in there. I don't know. It's like a big cold pantry.
It's probably not that cold in there either.
They had fish. You want to keep fish pretty cold. You can't just have fish up on a line and be like, oh, it's good. It'll be fine. It's 60 in here. That's good enough. It ain't good enough.
With some salt and hope for the best.
Yeah, I mean, that's not good enough.
It's not good. It didn't look good.
It didn't look good.
It didn't look good. Like when she's walking by there, I was like, those chickens could look better. And I was like, fish, bold choice.
I mean, that's production design 101. Steer clear of the replica fish, people. I mean, you're never going to get it right. Okay.
For the design team, for the art department, and for the characters of the movie, because even if we're in the story world, we're like, ooh, keeping fish like that, bold choice.
Well, guess what else is hanging up in there? It's Jeff. He, at some point, got the chop. Even though, I don't know.
He ran away.
Yeah.
He seemed like he was going for weapons or something.
Okay, so I'm going to try to reconstruct that, because there's no blood all over. He's from neck to belt ripped open by a panga.
Yeah.
And hang up in his own fridge upside down to bleed out. Because I guess the wielder, or the unknown wielder of the panga, is going to have him with that fish later.
Yeah, little surf and turf.
No, they're going to do a turducken thing where they shove a fish and a chicken and a little bit of beef in him, and then they roast him up.
Chicken and a fish and a goat into Jeff.
Yeah.
It's a Chico Jeff.
So there's two possibilities of what happened here. One, the wielder of the panga bonks him, hangs him up, and rips him open because he's only bled there. So he doesn't get cut open until he's already upside down where he's been hung. So he has to be either rendered incapacitated, hung there, and then ripped open, or he was hiding next to the pig and not moving with his shirt off and be like, you'll never see me here. I look just like that pig. Just put an apple in his mouth, and then he's like, oh my God, he knows it's me.
Damn it. Yeah, so Jeff is dead. Elizabeth, she finds Malech. He's in the house. He's carrying a panga. And she's like, you killed Jeff. And he's like, what? Jeff's dead? Oh, fuck. Crap. We need to get out of here right now because there's a sea monster inside your house. And she's like, I'm not going anywhere with you. You killed my husband. He's like, come with me if you want to live. And so he goes out to the truck.
Oh, wait, no. Oh. She grabs a fucking butter knife.
She grabs a knife
to defend herself. And I'm like, that's a butter knife. It's kind of a pointy one, but we get a really good look at it later, and it's a fucking butter knife.
Yeah.
And he puts down his panga, and he's like, to prove to you that I am the honest man of this earth, I will render myself defenseless. Yeah,
so he's like, go out to the truck when you hear it start. And so she does. Takes a long-ass time doing it. And she gets out there, and she's like, punch it, Malech! Malech, punch it! Malech! She shakes him, and his fucking head comes off. Because
this looked pretty good.
Yeah, it was not a bad severed head.
Then we cut to her just driving, so she opened up the door and was like, bye-bye, Malech.
That's exactly what she did. You didn't see that when she pushed the body out?
It must have been kind of fast.
I only
happened faster than anything else in this movie.
I only saw it when she did a rip and burn out on his balls. Fuck you, Malech. So she drives off, sorta. She crashes the truck immediately, but the way it's shot, dude, lady, you didn't crash. She slides off the road. No, she slid off the road onto more road. She's fine. And she's like, vroom, vroom. She's the truck is stuck, but you don't see it stuck. It's fucking put it in gear, dumbass. But she gets out. And she runs into the fucking sugarcane fields, which is a perfect place to run if you want to never find your way out of. Ever. You can't run into a sugarcane field.
You stay on the road.
Stay on the fucking road.
And go where you're going. I guess she's lived there long enough that she's shortcutting through the field.
No, she's not. She's
stays in a straight
lost
line.
As shit. She doesn't stay in a straight line. She's like fucking, she's making crop circles out there, Sam.
That sucks.
Yeah, no, this is a dumb plan. And, well, maybe she doesn't know, but it's one of those movies where, like, knowledge is transferred via the power of the audience's knowledge. We know that the one tool that the monster has that she doesn't is a tool intended to cut down sugarcane. So it can find where it wants to go.
Yeah.
You cannot.
And she's put the butter knife tied it to her waist and robe.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it's not very sharp, she's managed to cut herself up pretty good by running with a knife tied to her leg.
Yeah. It's like the dick gun. You put the gun pointed at your dick.
The Glock leg?
Yeah, Glock leg. Well, meanwhile...
Plaxico Burris.
Plaxico Burris. Okay.
She Plaxico Burris herself with a butter knife.
God damn it, blew my dick off. Somewhere, a goat dies. Okay.
Yeah.
And an old lady and a child discuss Bruce motherfucking Henderson.
Bruce motherfucking Henderson.
Bruce motherfucking Henderson. The world's coolest 8-year-old. Bruce is a weaver of tales.
Yeah. It's odd that a third of this movie, maybe only a quarter, is a conversation about what Bruce Henderson tells this lady's grandma, or this lady's granddaughter, who they're not even major characters. Like,
right?
Bruce Henderson gets more run than some of the main characters.
He's in the movie more than Christopher
movie.
Lee. We haven't talked about Christopher Lee in a long-ass goddamn time. But
I don't know if he's even coming. I don't even know if he's coming back until a little bit after the first mention of Bruce Henderson. You see him witch doctoring, and you're like, oh, maybe he is the bad guy.
Bruce Henderson went on to do more badass shit than Christopher Lee ever did.
Well, as we find out, Bruce Henderson was right.
Yes, Bruce Henderson.
Because everything this little girl says that's going to happen is what happens. And like, well, Bruce Henderson knows his shit.
Yeah. Goddamn right I do. I'm Bruce motherfucking Henderson. Said the 8-year-old Bruce motherfucking Henderson. That's how it's played out in the script. All right. So Elizabeth, she's still lost in the field for a long ass fucking time. She's just like, oh. And again, this is the same thing as like Jeff. She's vaguely being hunted. That we don't even hear the fucking monster going, oh, for like half of this fucking chase. She's just like, shit, what did I get out of the fucking truck for? I told Jeff I couldn't drive a fucking manual.
She didn't even try to get unstuck. She was just like, "Oh, this isn't where you put a car. I'm running away."
Ma'am, you can't park here. It's a fucking street, dipshit. Actually, it's not. You parked in the middle of our tribal village.
Yeah.
Fucking dumbass. She drops a knife.
We actually made that terrace. We were going to put some plants there. Parked on it.
She drops the knife while she's out lost. And the monster, it starts chopping up the field because it's got the fucking tool that she doesn't have. And I guess it's about to whack her when Mr. Tibbs, Damien's dog, who actually is Satan, comes running up and he's like, chocolate cookies in your pocket! And attacks the monster. And doesn't
they have a
make
bit
it.
of a tussle, but you hear them do the dog.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mr. Tibbs didn't make it.
The dog's name is Mr. Tibbs.
Mr. Tibbs. They call me Mr. Tibbs.
They call me Mr. Tibbs, the dog.
The dog. Okay. So she
How do you
stumbles.
think Sydney felt about that? The dog's name is Mr. Who made me watch this? This is crap.
So she stumbles to the old lady's house. And we see immediately we hear get a view from inside the sugarcane, and we hear maniacal laughter, and then the reverse camera shows us the fucking witch doctor standing there. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the monster is the witch doctor?
Yeah, well, I mean, what we can't tell now. We've been told that the monster could either be the witch doctor or Dr. Pearson, which is Christopher Lee.
Okay, all right. Anyways, there's a witch doctor in the sugarcane having a good time. I guess we know that much at least.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, Christopher Lee's in this movie. He shows up. He's shouting at the sky.
Yeah. He's witch doctoring now.
Yeah.
So at this point, you think, it is the witch doctor's the bad guy. Definitely the bad guy. And then they're like, or is it? Because Christopher Lee's witch doctoring now. He could be the bad guy and he does have asthma.
Oh my God. I just thought of a fucking question. Damn it. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, so Chloe, she goes up to bed and then she remembers, oh, Mr. Tibbs is outside. I got to feed him some more fucking chocolate. So then his heart explodes. And she's standing out there and she's like, Mr. Tibbs, come here, Mr. Tibbs, because she thinks the monster's Mr. Tibbs because she can hear it going, oh, back.
Eat more cookies, Mr. Tibbs. It'll help your colitis.
Back pain. Oh, knees are shot. Good thing I live in a single level. Oh. Okay.
It's a lot lighter in water. It's good for his joints.
Yeah. Just moved to fucking Florida. Del Boca Vista. Oh.
Yep.
Okay, so she gets called in by the grandma. She's like, hey, I told you to go to bed. You're grounded. Little shit.
She's like, this lady just came in here wet and with blood all over her, claiming bloody murder. There's already a terrible storm happening, and you're like,
oh, yeah, the storm.
I'm going to go outside instead of go to bed. Okay.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, because kids are fucking stupid.
Yeah, our son would totally do that.
And then Anthea, who's proven to be mostly not idiotic and incapable, she's proven to be capable of being at least a reasonable human being up until this point, just completely fucks up closing and locking the door.
Right?
Like, she turns the thing and flips the, but it wasn't all the way closed, so it's just, like, open still.
Yep. There's a knock at the door, and the old lady, she's like, oh, fuck this shit. I'm grabbing a fucking double-barrel shotgun. And... because
Elizabeth's like, no, we can't. And she's like, the fuck, I can't.
Don't let it in.
They're gonna fucking say anything that isn't nice. They're gonna be a lot less happy than you.
They better hope it's not goddamn Jehovah's Witnesses, because they're about to get a face full of buckshot. Give me some more Watchtower. I'll give you some buckshot. God damn it. That's all you can do right there.
No.
Okay. All right.
Hot lead.
Yeah. So it's Doc Pearson. And he comes in, he's like, oh, well, I was out driving around casually during a electrical storm. I crashed and blew a tire, and I walked here. You guys got some of them chocolate chip cookies? And she's like, you've got slime on your hand. And he's like, oh, it must have been from your doorknob.
Yep.
Which we did see earlier that somebody tried to enter through the front door.
Oh, so it was pre-slimed?
And was... Yeah.
Oh, so Doc Pearson's story checks out.
Yes. He is hiding something, though.
He is hiding something. It's his wrist that has suddenly been bandaged. And Elizabeth is like, oh, yeah, well, how'd you hurt your wrist? And he's like, I sprained it by tripping on the way over here during this storm where I can't see shit. What are you implying? And she's like, I never actually injured the thing that was chasing me with the knife. I never used it for anything, so I don't totally know why I would think sinisterness because of your wrist.
Also, what is that blood?
You got blood on your vest, though. What about that? He's like,
and then he starts his sullen confession why he's hiding something, and they're like, what? And it's long. And it's super involved, but ultimately he's a witch doctor as well as a medical doctor. And he's like, you really fucked up when you took that guy's goat. So I sacrificed it, hoping I could save you. Looks like I can't.
Oh, man. I think we got to go into this, Sam, because he's like, I mean, it is a long story. He's like, ladies, you're probably going to want to sit down for this one. This could take some time. How about some tea, Grandma, while we prep? How you doing, Elizabeth? How's your maybe pregnancy going? I'm not sure. The tea's here. Well, let me proceed, ladies. Once upon a time, I had a father, and he was a colonial guy, and he pissed the wrong people off, and his head got chopped off, and rats carried it away. And my mother was standing on the front porch, and she's like, "Hey, what's my husband's head doing? Just moving around on it." It was getting eaten by rats. My father's head. I saw it, and so I had to enact vengeance and sacrifice a goat. And so I did that today
because his sister got pregnant by an African guy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Racism. Yeah.
There was the racism. So instead of giving him the goat to sacrifice, he just beats the shit out of him and tells him never to come back. So they kill the fuck out of the guy. Because in this region of Africa, if a life of a child is lost, a goat must be sacrificed or heavy prices will be paid.
And also, I saw my dad's head being carried away by rats at an early age. It's what led me to become a doctor. Because it was the whole get over here thing, and he pulled his spine. Spine was still attached. I don't know how they did that, but I saw my dad come apart. And I'm cool. I'm good. I've moved on, Sometimes I want to murder people. Late at night, especially. My joints ache, and I want murder. Vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm good. I'm your doctor.
And the only one in the area.
You gotta take what you get, right? It's a good thing I'm here. All right. Meanwhile, there's a monster in Chloe's room. After all this Bruce Henderson shit, she's like, Bruce Henderson was right.
Yeah, Bruce Henderson was right.
I knew it.
And they're like, so wait, what? And he's like, yeah, sea monsters. We don't still see it. We're like, oh, there's a shadowy figure in the, oh shit, Grandma just blasted that fucking thing right out the window. She doesn't even think twice. She just pulls through and she's like, don't know what that is. Fuck it. Bam.
How'd those Jehovah's Witnesses get in this room?
She's the most reasonable person I've seen in a horror movie in a while. Yeah. Other than forgetting to lock the door, everything else is a classic good move.
But downstairs, it's gone, but it did leave some goo behind. Got it? More goo.
Yeah. And what does it smell like? The sea and rotting fish.
Oh, Jackie had a good one right here.
Go. Oh, I was like, no, that's just my crotch because it's hot outside.
Ew.
And I've been running through some sugarcane. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Little musky. Okay. So the witch doctor's still out in the field. He's laughing. He's having a fucking great old time. Somebody told him a dad joke, probably something from Sneaker Madness. And he's just like, God, I can't get it out of my head. And so Elizabeth chucks a fucking oil lamp at him, lights the whole goddamn sugarcane field on fire, and he's dancing around in the flames like he's one of those orange guys in Vietnam.
And then Christopher Lee isn't like, pretty sure it's not him.
They just stand
just
there.
Killed my bud. That guy's my bud.
They just stand there and watch. All four of them. The little girl comes out and she's got a big ass fucking grin on her face, like, watch it burn.
Yeah, she's got some shit to tell Bruce Henderson come Monday.
Fucking A, man.
Bruce, you were completely right about all of this shit.
Marry me. You are. He's now like Wesley in her mind from Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Like, you're it. You're the guy. You're the fucking guy, Bruce Henderson. Yeah, so it's all burned up. They watch it burn. Did you also think that whoever that stuntman was, Sam, was on too much fire?
I feel like they were on too much fire.
He was really on fucking fire. It wasn't like the gel fire where it's like low level of flames, like, you know, they're only like 2 or 3 inches high. This was like feet of flame that was on that stuntman.
You've got 2 ways of doing this to stretch this out. And one of them, because the flames seemed like they were moving a little globby, which is actually a symptom that what they've done is they've halved the frame rate so that the footage is twice as long, basically. It doesn't really look like slow motion, especially if you're on fire and you're freaking the fuck out.
Right.
It just looks like you're on, well, I'm moving normally on fire. And so I think that they both did a couple of, I don't know that they have more than one camera for this movie, so I'm going to just guess that they stretched it out by doing a half-speed slow-mo.
That's fine. The half-speed slow. I'm not worried about the speed.
He's
how
all
long
the way
he
on
was on
fucking fire.
He was on too much fire. Like, I've seen.
And then there was a large sugarcane explosion.
Yeah.
Why he's still on fire. So,
well, that's just cutting, Jackie.
I think that he had to hit the button for the explosion to happen.
The man that was on fire had to hit the other button to. No, the man on fire has one job, Jackie, to go, for like 2 seconds and then get down on the ground and get put out of fire. I'm just saying it was too much fucking, like.
It's too much fucking fire.
They didn't use the right gel on the. I'd like to know what happened to the stuntman, because the gel, the safety gel, usually has very like minimal. You see them, they're bluish tinted. Usually the flames of a man on fire, safe man on fire, they're blue.
Yeah.
These were yellow hot flames that looked like a man was actually on fucking fire. It was crazy. Anyway, so Elizabeth, she's like, oh, thank God it's over. I'll go to the garden shed.
She's like, oh, I guess we're down a lamp. And Althea's like, watching
the power's
this year's
back on.
harvest burn down.
Yeah, no shit.
And she's like, oh, don't worry, there's more in the shed. And she's like, I'll go get one. And I'm like, no, you've done enough, thank you.
No, it gets worse. It gets worse. Hey, the power's back on. We don't need any more lamps, bitch. Whatever. And so she goes in there, and the monster's not fucking dead. Or maybe it never was at risk. I'm not sure.
So this is when we find out that it's actually a fucking sea monster, finally.
It's not a sea monster, Sam. It's a fucking Godzilla.
It's a tiny Godzilla.
It's a tiny man-sized Godzilla. It's a guy in a rubber costume that could easily destroy a miniature Tokyo.
It's Gaijira.
Gaijira. I like it. You got that one. That one landed with me. If it had been historical, fuck, I would have had a huge boner right now.
Yeah.
That would have worked for me. Just like John at the beach. I don't know. And the doll's in the garden shed too. Why is the fucking doll in the garden shed?
Because she was holding it for the little girl.
Because she's like, oh, I'm going to go get a lamp. I should burden myself by doing that with both hands full and not being able to bring all of the items back that I need to bring back with 2 hands and 3 items.
That's I mean, Miss Elizabeth, I'm glad that you brought me cookies earlier, but the power's back on, and we don't actually need a lamp, and I'm good. I'm gonna go dream about Bruce Henderson, but I'd like my dolly to be with me. Why are you taking my dolly to the garden shed, you horrible monster? That doesn't make any sense. We don't need oil lamps. We've got power. Also, I am perfectly capable of carrying my own dolly to bed, bitch. Whatever. And so monsters try to get in. And Elizabeth is like, well, there's one thing I'm good at. It's torching some shit on fire. So she dumps gasoline all over the fucking place. And
I haven't burned enough shit down.
Monster busts into the shed and she fucking lights a match, burns that whole goddamn thing, and the monster just stands there in the midst of fire while the doll, like, the juxtaposition is the doll, like,
the doll is like, I'm attacking baby, and the monster's like, that is unnatural, I must kill it.
But then its head melts off, and he's like, I don't know what to do.
Mommy, my head is melted off. Monster's like, Tokyo. And it just stands there and fucking gets burnt up, and then the shed explodes. Like, what are you keeping in your fucking shed in 1950? A bunch of fucking hydrogen? Next morning.
Well, I think that the sea monster slime is actually explosive material.
Okay. It's made out of hydrogen? Makes sense.
Yeah.
H2O.
Also, 1950
Science.
talking doll. You think that checks out?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Might.
Did you know
They had
why?
blinky eye.
Because Edison did it in 1890.
My God.
There's your history.
Oh my God.
Nikola Tesla did it 10 years before that.
Probably was some guy that worked for Edison and not him, like all of the shit, whatever.
Next morning, Doc, he's out walking the beach, and then he sees a panga in the sand. Leading me to believe...
Just a panga in the sand.
Just a panga in the sand. Leading me to believe that the sea monster, like, was like, I'm on fire. I'll walk off into the ocean to cool off, and I'm still fucking alive.
It's supernatural.
Here's my question.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I agree with Sam. It is kind of supernatural. But there's like this weird body looking thing, too, he's kind of standing next to. And I couldn't tell if that was supposed to be the panga, and then
was just rocks.
He didn't quite make it, and he just kind of was dead there, or
there was
what?
some rocks and some seaweed.
I think it was just rocks and seaweed. You've been to the beach before, Jackie. They're mostly rocks and seaweed.
And seaweed.
And hypodermic
syringes.
Needles.
Yeah, hypodermic needles in seagulls.
Okay.
Very rarely are there sharks, sadly. But, yeah. Okay, question time. I'm going to start. What is the monster?
Gaijira.
Yep.
Is it not?
Gaijira, the African sea curse monster.
So it just walked out of the ocean because it's like, child was killed without a goat sacrifice, and now my motivation is vengeance.
Vengeance on everybody but the person that was cursed.
So, okay, one thing I know about sacrifices is you don't sacrifice arbitrarily. You sacrifice to something. Usually, and almost, I would say all the time, a power that is higher than you, like a god. The Aztecs would pull your heart out of your chest to fucking do it to Quetzalcoatl. And the Incans, they would be like, we'll sacrifice to the blood or the rain gods. And you sacrifice to gods. So is it Poseidon?
No, he's just like a henchman.
The
monster's just a henchman. He's lower level. He's the guy that comes if you fuck up.
So Poseidon is like, hey, they didn't do the sacrifice thing because I care about children, the babies. I'm a Republican, and you didn't get that done. You didn't kill a goat in the name of the unborn children, and also like the sacrifice had to be done because a guy. We didn't mention this. A guy let one of the fucking goats out. Like, oh shit! It turns out I'm a terrible goatsman. Oops, one got away. And the witch doctor's like, we have a no goat getting away policy. It's one strike and you're out. And by out, I mean you're dead. Mm-hmm. And so he killed that guy at the beginning of the movie. But that guy was an adult man. And
he was under adolescent, let's say.
He was not adolescent. Did you see that actor? He was wearing a fucking tank top, Sam. You're not allowed to wear a tank top unless you're a fucking adult person. He was an adult person. Which my thing is like everybody is a son and a daughter.
You didn't get to wear tank tops when you were a kid.
You didn't. No, only
our kid wears tank tops.
Well, that's it. You're right. Sacrifice him. But I mean, like Everybody is a son or a daughter. The rule is, if a son or a daughter dies, you must sacrifice a goat.
They just like goat buffets.
Swamp god. The god of the ocean. And Poseidon's like,
Swamp
God.
Thing would kick that guy's ass.
Look, we got malaria to deal with. We've got typhus to deal with. All these diseases are killing us left and right. We don't have enough goats to sacrifice all these fucking dead people for. Poseidon, you're fucking greedy. I gotta send my kaiju hitman every time somebody fucking the son dies.
Tiny kaiju hitman.
This is stupid. So the witch doctor has nothing to do with any of it.
Nope.
Well, except for murdering that kid.
Except for
and starting the whole thing in the first
for
place.
being a bad boss.
Thinking it's really funny when a sea monster murders people.
Yeah, right? That's it. That's all that happens. That's his entire thing. And what's Christopher Lee? He's just a fucking doctor that knows, like, oh, well, it turns out that either Poseidon or some other nation's god. I know nothing about African religion or anything like that because it's very diverse and there's way too many. But one time a guy worshipped a Coke bottle. That's all I fucking know. I'm just here because I know about that shit. I'm not actually a monster. And why am I wheezy? I don't smoke. I got asthma. Okay. The monster is a fucking sea monster.
It's just a sea monster.
It's just a sea henchman.
That makes use of a panga.
Does it okay, whatever. Anyway, okay, who's next?
How do you think Elizabeth and Jeff met?
Okay. All right.
She was a tourist, and he had just gotten dumped, and she was a rebounder. And he jumped on it because he knew he had to move back to Africa, and he was like, I gotta have a wife.
College, right? College.
He's like 10 years older than her.
He is aged. So not college. That doesn't check out. Unless...
I think that her parents gave her to him.
Sold? Yeah. That checks out. That actually... Yeah, that's the only way. He's too... She couldn't have been like... I'm wandering the fields of Africa and looking for a husband in 1950.
No. This isn't arranged. This has to be an arranged marriage. There's no other.
That's gulp. Okay. Is she pregnant still?
I'm guessing.
So the curse actually never was even a fucking curse.
Did he give her the curse of the lone survivor, which was my question.
Oh.
No, because it was trying to kill her. She just burned him up in a fire.
It did a really shitty job killing her versus everybody else it killed.
Wait. So by you saying lone survivor, are you saying that the henchman of Poseidon is actually one of the monsters in Cabin in the Woods? And if we don't fucking go through this, if she doesn't win...
Yeah.
It's the end times and the old gods come out and destroy the earth?
Yeah.
Is this in the same universe as Cabin in the Woods? Because that's a great connection.
Yeah, the monster looks about the same as the end. The merman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a merman! Oh my god, it's a fucking... I always wanted to see them! They never come out! We never get mermen! Yeah, this is a fucking prelude. This is a prequel to Cabin in the Woods. Yeah. Now I get it! Now I see what's going on here. Okay. I have some, I don't have questions. Jackie, do you have questions?
I have more questions.
Okay,
I have
Sam,
one more question.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you have a question, Jackie?
No.
Okay. Does Anthea hate Elizabeth?
Who's Anthea? The old lady?
The lady with the shotgun that got all of her shit burned down by Elizabeth.
I would be pretty upset. Like, it's time to go home, Elizabeth. You've, burned down my sugarcane field, which was quite lucrative, but then you PS'd it with my garden shed.
The shed. Blew the shed up.
I think there's some hurt feelings for a week or two, and then she gets over it because
I'm so lonely.
There aren't that many people. Yeah, there's not that many people out there, right? She's got to take the friends when she can get them.
There's no bingo here. There's no bridge club. I have to be friends with Elizabeth.
Well, she's no longer in an arranged marriage, so she's definitely going back to the U.S. She's not staying here. So she's probably like, sorry about that. You own both farms now.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're good here. We're good here. Write anytime you feel like it. Write a year before you come to visit again.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Jackie, question?
No?
Okay. I've got, two, they're not questions. They're more declarations. And I think one of them we might have covered. Goat murder didn't stop the curse monster. Because Christopher Lee fucking murdered that goat. And he's like,
it was too late.
There's a time limit? There's a clock?
Yeah, he's like, I was hoping it wasn't too late. It was too late.
What's the clock? Is there like...
Once the sea monster shows up, he's fucking feeling footloose and fancy free. Shit's gonna go down.
So the sea monster, you've got time between the sea monster to leave, I'm guessing where Ariel lives, to Africa. That's your window to like just wade through the ocean. Oh, I'm here. That's once I've been birthed into air.
Once I make landfall, I'm
goat
already pissed off.
Now I gotta avenge that goat murder.
Yeah,
because that's the son of somebody. Okay. Is there's no question. Little Chloe's never sleeping again, though, right? Like she's gonna get sent back.
She
to her
didn't
parents.
seem that busted up.
She was pretty glad. About
also,
the fire.
she was like, it was kind of scary until Grandma fucking dusted it with a shotgun. She's fucking sound as a pound. Maybe a little hearing damage.
Yeah, Grandma's got her back. She's fine.
But when she goes, well, eventually she's going to go back to her parents, and I'm assuming London, and she's going to be like, so how many shotguns do we have in this house? And they're going to be like, well, none, darling. We're British.
No, they're upper crust, probably 10.
What the fuck are you talking?
They're hunting.
No, they don't keep the fucking shotgun. They live in London, assholes. She's going to be like...
But they're rich people in London. They've got like 10 shotguns for foxes and other...
foxes that are out in the fox hunting. They don't keep them in the house.
Yeah, you take your gun when you're invited to somebody's estate.
I'm sorry, what?
You take your gun when you're invited to somebody's estate. So you would have these different kinds of guns in order to go to the estates and like shoot birds and foxes.
You don't keep them in your flat in London, Jackie.
Yeah, yes, you do. If that's the only house you have.
Sorry,
if they have like a huge house in London. She's rich. She's rich.
Well, I was going to imply that she was like, well, we don't have any shotguns, then I'm going to have to move to America.
Where they also have lots of shotguns.
We've got way more shotguns. Way more.
We got way more people, too.
Yeah.
What,
But every American has like 7 shotguns. The British only have like
That's not true. Most people that are gun people only have like 1 usually.
Hey, Winston, the dog. How many shotguns do you got? 4. Yeah. See,
I've got 2, but yeah, I don't know. It's
that's the only way.
I just think that
Chloe
she's
needs
gonna go home.
Chloe needs shotguns
and say, I don't even care when she goes home. When she goes home, she's like, I'm marrying Bruce Henderson. Mm-hmm. They're like, who the fuck is Bruce Henderson? She's like, oh, you'll fucking find out.
He's a Republican with a bunch of shotguns.
Yeah.
Or a Tory, I guess I should say.
That's what she does. She doesn't have a hard time sleeping. She just goes right to Bruce Henderson on Monday, and it's like, you were right about everything, save one thing. They do not like shotguns.
Yeah. And then he does the Arnold swing a shotgun. The what's that called? There's a name for it. I used to know. And he's like, come with me if you want to live.
That wasn't a shotgun. That was a 30-30.
On the motorcycle? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that was a lever action.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. All right. Final recommendations, Jackie.
I'm gonna go do.
Okay.
I was slightly entertained. Well, I was entertained. It was funny, And yes, it has some really boring ass parts in it that could have, but they had to stretch those out in order to get to an hour and 30 minutes, right? But like overall, the monster was funny looking. The grandma with the shotgun was awesome. And Christopher Lee did a pretty good job in this movie. So I'm going to give it a
man,
two.
he was fucking scenery chewing. Like, why was he there? Why was he there? I mean, this is, I'm not saying like Christopher Lee was ever very illustrious. He was always kind of in B movies until Star Wars. Is there, am I missing something, Sam? Was he in something good?
Francisco Scaramanga.
I wouldn't consider that good. I mean,
James Bond movies are a big fucking deal.
Yeah,
good.
But it's
good
fun.
movie.
It's fun. It's high paying. Put butts in seats. But I mean, like, he's only 10 years away from being Count Dooku in this.
Yeah.
And he's in this. And it's a turd.
He did Hammer movies.
Yeah.
For like most of his career. Hammer movies were not good movies.
But he's like when Mike Myers or Wayne Campbell says, "Can we get somebody in here to actually fucking deliver these lines?" And it's way out of place to everybody else. No offense to your former girlfriend there, Sammy. She stinks. And everybody else in this fucking movie stinks. And then Christopher Lee comes in and he's like, "Ladies, let me tell you a story about racism and my father's head coming off." And you're like, "God damn it, Christopher Lee. You're fucking good. Why are you in this piece of shit?
Why are you in this?"
So,
I mean,
Jackie's a dude,
she's
Sam.
at the height of her. They're in this to make it to where you can pull it off the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Him and her are marketing because she's still a big enough deal from Three's Company and Dallas that you would pull this off of the video shelf.
Okay. So, do not?
Oh, I didn't like it one bit.
Oh,
I was bored to tears.
Okay, all right.
I got to see Jenna Lee Harrison's boobs, and I still don't think it was worth it.
Okay.
So it's a don't for me.
That's a bad review. That's a negative. I'm gonna just give it a barely do. It is fucking draggy in parts to fill that 1 hour and a half time slot, like Jackie said, but it is super dumb, and I think it can either fit in Spooktober or Nonsensical November because it does not make sense. I think that this is great, not a great, but like a good Bad Movie Sunday double feature. They put this up with some other schlock. Pieces would be a good supplement to this.
I think you got to do another creature movie with this, and then you serve snacks during the front of this one.
Yeah.
So, because if you don't have to pay attention to the first 40 fucking minutes of this movie, it wouldn't be that bad.
I was riffing pretty hard.
But I had to pay attention to the first 40 fucking minutes.
I was riffing pretty hard on it. So, it's a 6 out of 10 for personal viewing. It's probably a 7 out of 10 for group viewing, I would say. But that's your show. Also, I want to apologize to all of our fans that our server has been down this entire week. Sam and Jackie probably didn't even know about this.
No, I was trying to, because I didn't remember what movie we had, and I was like, what's going on with our website? And then something would happen, and I didn't text you, but I was panicking.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. It should be back up by the time this episode is launched, which I guess would have to be. And so sorry about that, all guys. It's not my fault. It's that the Russians hacked our server or something, because that's how big of a deal we are. Putin's coming for us, baby. America. I mean, America.
Don't cut yourself on a cheese grater.
Sam, it's your pick next week. What you got?
I don't have anything because I'm always never ready for Spooktober, so I will find something. I always have a big list of movies that I want to do, and then every October I'm like, oh fuck, no. None of these are horror movies because I usually just hate horror movies.
Sure. All right, well, stay tuned and get to the chopper.